Hello everybody and welcome to this month's Mapping It Out. My name is Guy and it's a full show. As you know, Alpha has been released, so we're going to be getting some updates on that. We're going to look at the new patch that came out last night. If you haven't been made aware of it yet, you should go and download that. It is supposedly going to be fixing a lot of things. We're going to find out exactly what it's all about, what it does, what it has done so far, and what we can expect from the future. We're going to be looking at Mapvember. If you are on Discord, you'd know all about the Mapvember competitions that they have been running over at the Dungeon Fog Studios, and we're going to look at some of the winners and also some of the things coming up in December. So Mapember, I'm not entirely sure what you would call that. We're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at the new Dungeon Fog Assets Pack update that drops also in the near future, so we can start to use those assets. And then, of course, some Black Friday news coming directly from Till. So lots to talk about in today's show. Now, if you have a question, please put the word question in caps, in nice big bold caps in front of your questions that I can see it, and then I will pass it along to Till or one of our lovely moderators. I'm not sure if Botosaurus is in chat today, but whoever our moderators are will also be able to pick it up and help you. So that's what we've got going on for today. So yes, I hope you are all having a great time wherever you happen to be, staying safe in these difficult times. So staying as safe as we possibly can by several hundred kilometers, I now invite into the studio Till to join us. Till, how are you doing?
Hello everyone. I'm doing fine now, finally, because last week I dropped. Last week I got the man flu and I was about to die. So a lot of sneezing involved, a lot of coughing involved, a lot of feeling very miserable involved. But now I'm back, I'm alive, and right in time to be here. Hello everyone.
And your illness actually educated us, because you taught us two words. I can't remember the second one, but I remember the first one, which is rots.
Yeah, that's the slime that's coming out of your nose.
A slime that's coming out of your nose. There you go. Now you can all say that you speak German when you can say, oh, rots. All right, don't listen to me. I don't know anything about languages. All right, so happy belated birthday, says LD3D. So there you are.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, now that Rots is done with, Till the new patch is out. What must we do to get this update if we haven't already?
Yes. So yesterday we have released our what we call our first stability patch. And to use it, since we don't have an auto updater yet, you have to follow a few steps, mainly to make sure that you do not lose all the maps that you have created in Project DEIOS. And secondly, because you might want to get access to the Titanic Creatures pack that is now being released with this patch. So when you go to our website, when you go to our help desk, you will find this guide that tells you how to do it. It's basically it's just a few simple steps, which are, if I remember correctly, it is number one, save your maps. So there is a way that you can export your maps into a separate save file. And if you have maps that you want to reuse in the new version, then make sure that you really save those maps first before you do anything else. Because if you follow the other steps, there's one involved that says you need to delete your app data folder, and the, how do you call it, the in-application save files, they are separate from the local save files that you're creating, the export files. They are stored in the app data folder. So if you delete the app data folder, all the maps that you haven't specifically exported will be deleted. So this is step number one. Make sure that you export your maps, follow the guide. It's very simple. It's open the map, click on export, and save the file somewhere. Step number two is you need to deinstall the existing Project DEIOS client following the classic Windows deinstallment guide. We also have a guide online there if you don't know how you deinstall software. And then you need to find your app data. Again, we have a little tutorial how you find your app data folder, and you remove that. And once you're done with that, you can then install the new version. Download the new version from your account manager and install it. And that's basically, and then apparently re-import your maps. But that's all you need to do. And it's only for probably this and the next patch before we have our auto updater finished. And then all you need to do is like click on update when we announce that there's a new update available. So this is just because, again, we are still very early in alpha development. And we wanted to make sure that the stability patch comes to you as fast as possible. So we haven't really touched the auto updater yet, but we have been working on the bug fixing and crash fixing for this update.
Lovely. All right. So just to be clear, as Forecaster 71 points out, do not delete your app data folder. Delete your Dungeon Fog folder within app data.
Yes, sorry.
Because otherwise a lot of programs are going to stop working.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Please. Oh my God.
Thank you, Forecaster 71.
Yeah, I'm so used because we're always like, it's in the office where have you deleted app data? Yeah, I have. And we all know about that, but I forgot to mention that. No, you do not delete the app data folder. You delete the Dungeon Fog folder within your app data.
There you go. There you go. All right, that's super cool. All right, so that's fine. Just to get clarity. No, that's good. That's good. Thank you. All right, so you mentioned that there is a guide that's on the help desk within dungeonfog.com.
Yes, so you go to dungeonfog.com. In the news, you can find that. If you go to dungeonfog.com, in the main menu, you see the help desk. There is the section, there are the patch notes are there, the install guide is there. We have updated the help desk in regards to error messages that should now be fixed. So yes, I think if you're looking for the right source, our help desk and our news announcements are the perfect way to go.
Fantastic. Okay. All right, so now we've got the new software installed. What actually is in the patch? I mean, without going into too much detail, because as you say, the news section's got what the technical stuff. But what are we seeing in this new patch?
So Jonas, Nikita, and Andy, they have mainly addressed bugs or user interaction mistakes, things that shouldn't be like that in the first installment that we handed out. So there are some just UI improvements in there. We've updated our frameworks so that the UI is a little bit smoother than before, and we've just addressed in terms of what you have sent us through the reports, the report a problem. We've been looking for things that we can easily fix, like that don't take more time than we need, because the huge chunk was working on the technical improvements for video cards, drivers, and web GPU. That was the big one. That was what we have mainly been doing in the past. What was it? Yeah, in the past month, basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned the Titanic Creatures pack. What's that?
Yes, Keora was working on the Titanic Creatures pack. It was one of the Kickstarter rewards that people could get through the Kickstarter campaign, including around, I think, 25 Titanic creatures, monsters, leviathans that roam your world. And he has finished them. And he wanted to give them to me to hand them out with the new update. So we did that. And they are beautiful. And I can show them if you want me to show them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
So, wait. You give me the countdown.
All right. And switch on 3, 2, 1.
Oh, no. I think I have green screen. You might have a green screen effect.
No, I think it's... Oh, yes, we do. We do. Is it me? It might be me. Oh, my gosh. Give me a second here, folks. Pretend that there's nothing wrong. Wait, which one are you? You're this one. Filters. Oh, it was me. Oh no, there we go. All right, look,
There we
everything's
go.
fine. Now you can stop pretending.
So here we go. So Titanic Creatures are basically those beautiful monsters. Here, I like that one a lot. That is sitting here. Come on, let me select you. And here you can see the giant Yomungur snake, and we have dragons, and we have giant spiders, and so there's a lot of stuff that you can use. Let me just browse around here. There's this rock. Yes.
Yeah.
We have a little tribute to a specific octopus.
Does anyone in chat know the name of that octopus? Let's see. Anyway, we'll see if chat knows the name of that, but that's lovely.
That's not a mountain. If you look closer, this is a giant turtle.
That's fantastic.
We have a behemoth,
yeah,
more sea creatures, and I'm pretty sure I haven't placed all of them. Like if I go here and search for Titanic Creatures, there you go, Titanic. Let me show you. So there's a lot more. Like look at that one. That is just amazing. Come on, give me the rest of them. We have a specific giant lizard that we should not name in more detail. And
because it is just a giant lizard.
Demons.
That's cool.
It's a giant gorilla. It's absolutely fantastic. Like we also have this mecha bot that is in there.
For sci-fi.
Yeah, and much more. So it's fantastic. Lovely. Just I think everyone will have a lot of fun playing around with them, placing them on the map. And that is in terms of assets, that is part of this content patch, as well as, again, a lot of stability, a lot of performance, a lot of out-of-memory management. We're not finished, not at all. That's not, it's our first stability patch. And now we need to collect data and understand how is it performing. But it is one first step into that direction where we understand how are things working now.
There you are. There you are. That's fantastic. Lara Lepine has jumped in with the correct answer of the name of that Kraken, who's still just sitting above Till's shoulder there. And, of course...
Where it belongs.
Where it belongs, absolutely. The name of the Kraken, of course, is Pinky. Pinky, the poor little octopus that got thrown around all over the place. Anyway, Till, this map is looking absolutely fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous, as people are saying in the chat there. So yeah, absolutely adoring it. The snake, they were saying, did you show us the snake? There was someone saying the snake was, oh, there we go, it was just off screen.
It was off screen.
There we go.
Apologies.
Perfect. Look at that. Absolutely. I mean, you can just see the talent of Kero just shining through.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like when I saw that, I feel like we've talked about that on the Spiel stream. So he was showing some of that on the Spiel stream. But when I personally saw it the first time, I was absolutely blown away because this is, and again, it's always a question of how do you mix things. But
yes,
this little rock creature sitting in the hillsides behind some trees is just fantastic. That's absolutely marvelous. I feel like this is something where my players would be like exploring the map and just on a second note discovering it, and they would be like, oh my God, what's that?
Yes.
And I'm like, oh yeah, you're going to run into that.
I mean, really, we're so close to having a really functional space. All we need is the brushes to paint the grass a different green, and that's almost it, isn't it?
Yes, I agree. So in terms of, I mean, you want to do roads and rivers, that's missing too. You want to label your map. But in terms of,
yeah, sure.
Yeah. But in terms of vital things, I can count them on one hand.
Yeah.
And the reason why we haven't started with that yet is, again, just to emphasize, because we have gotten that question quite a few times, is the reason why we are not starting with this yet is because we want to be absolutely 100% positive that whatever we now put into the software, this software can stand the heat. And right now it can't, and we know that. But this is expected behavior because it is, and keep in mind, we're a small company, and we're doing a desktop application for the first time. So we want to do it right. And that is why we're doing the technical alpha right now. And that is why we are happy for crash reports, because every crash report we get tells us that there is still something that we need to fix before we can add and add more and more features. And yeah, but I feel like we're close.
Absolutely.
Early next year, you will be brushing things here.
So on that question of crash reports, should folks continue to send through crash reports now that we're in?
Yes, please. Okay. Yes, please, because the crash reports, the previous crash reports, they helped us to identify one major, let's say, problem that we didn't anticipate. I think I have been talking about that, but I can easily repeat it. And that is, when we decided to do DEIOS, we decided to, I think you're calling it bleeding edge technology. We decided to use bleeding edge technology for the renderer. And something that is completely new on the market is Web GPU. And Web GPU is really cool, but it hasn't progressed as fast as we expected or anticipated, which means a main source for the driver problems and the out of memory problems that we ran into were because Web GPU hasn't caught up with the things that we need. So we had to manually go in and we've talked to the developers of Web GPU, and we've manually helped them, and we did our part to improve it. But it is something that we need to test and verify, because we're not using, I don't know, Unity or Vulkan or DirectX 12 that is well established on the market. We're using something new, and we need to understand and learn if that is the right direction, or if that was probably a bit too over excited and too risky, probably. Because, I mean, especially when you talk to our developers, it's like, oh, there's new technology and it's going to be so cool when they're finished. And now we're faster than them. And that means that we can't really wait, and no one wants to wait on the technology to follow our trails, but we want to use existing technology to develop our software.
Right, absolutely.
So having the crash reports, especially now that we have brought out the stability patch, is critical for us, because it tells us if we did the right thing or if we didn't fix issues. It might show up that now that we've fixed some issues, some others pop up.
Sure.
And that is very important.
Absolutely. So what has the feed like been? What has the feed like been back recently? What has the feedback been like?
Okay, I was like, wait, that I don't understand that sentence. Okay, what has the feedback been like? I would say mostly positive. I do know, and I'm aware of the fact that there are users out there who do not meet the minimum requirements right now for like the software, the hardware requirements to run the software. I'm thankful for everyone who's still trying to do it and sending us the crash report, because that helps us to narrow down where the minimum requirements should be. We have been, and I understand that with the way that Steam works and Steam Early Access works today, we still have users who complain that this isn't the finished software and why are we handing this out? Which, I mean, to be fair, I do understand that. I'm waiting for a software. I'm getting something that says technical alpha. So I'm opening it and I'm not expecting crashes. I'm expecting an almost finished software, because that is what Steam has educated me. But I feel like everyone that we're explaining and telling that this is our tech alpha, that this is our core foundation software to understand how our foundations are performing. Everyone understands that. I've seen quite some beautiful maps. People are sharing maps on our Discord, and they're showing the things they're doing. They're showing the things that they're doing to stress our system, which are really incredible. Like I've seen maps where you see zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. And you see how gigantic this world is that they have created. And then there's just this tiny little windmill or whatsoever in there where you feel like, oh my God, good luck painting this whole map.
Yes. Lovely. Okay.
Yeah, and in terms of general feedback, I mean, people have been already anticipating the new patch. Unfortunately, I went sick last week, so I got sick last week, which meant that I was due on some text, basically. So we had to postpone this until I'm back. But it has shown us that bug fixing, even in a 3-week cycle, because it has been 3 weeks post launch, I believe, is stressful. So if you, again, community, if you are expecting us to dish out patches on a monthly basis, we will do our best, but we can't promise, because as for the web GPU things, that took us quite some time. That took us almost 2.5 weeks just working on that and fixing it. And then Jonas had to tune in and do his user interface stuff, which also was easily a week. And then all the internal testing and all that stuff. So I believe that eventually something like a 2-month cycle for updates, and not hot fixes, because again, this kind of falls into the area of a hot fix where we want to improve stability. But later on, if we want to add new features and add new tools in there, do expect a 2-month cycle and not a 1 month or 2-week cycle, as some users have been very optimistically requesting.
Yeah. Now, there has been some confusion on crash reports that people have been submitting to you. Can you talk us through that a little bit?
Okay. So I had a few users reaching out to me saying, hey, you've never responded to my crash report. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know, because we're just collecting them. It's impossible. And I can show that. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there you go.
Can you zoom in for us?
Yes, I will zoom in.
There we go.
So those are just internal statistics that I have that I can show you here. So in the first week of Alpha 1, we've received 3,760 crash reports, which is not unique crash reports. These are all the crash reports, even duplicates and triplicates in there that went through. But I can't, it's impossible for me to answer all of them manually. What we're doing is we're collecting them to create analytics and statistics about that, because a lot of those crash reports are similar. They are just the same problem. So if you're pressing on the crash report thing, I'm receiving it and I'm looking at it, but I'm not looking at it on an individual level, but I'm creating a statistic that then tells me if that crash report is comparable to other crash reports. And if that is so, then it's collected, and we can identify that, I don't know, 278 crashes have happened with this error message. The reason why there's this tick box that allows you to enter your email address is basically for later, because eventually the amount of crash reports will tie down, and then it makes a lot more sense to go in there and say, oh, we have, I don't know, in the past month, we had 200 crash reports, and there are some specific ones that I can answer, where I can even probably point to a help desk article, but not alpha. This is not alpha material. This is answering particular crash reports is something for very much later. So this is from alpha launch to today, or yesterday, technically, we had 5,629 crash reports. And again, I can't answer all of them individually. That's not possible. Now, the interesting part is here, yesterday we've released the patch, so it's not really there is no, how do you call it, statistical meaning to this number, because it just has been 1 day. After 1 week, we will see if the amount of crashes is smaller and is meaningful smaller than before, and what are those crashes? Did we get rid of the ones that we wanted to tackle? Are they still showing up? So yeah, when it comes to user reports, again, we've been asked, why haven't you answered my user report? It's the same thing. We try to understand, I'm collecting all of them and I'm looking at all of them. And if I can use the user report to identify the behavior, why this crash was caused, or why this unexpected user behavior was caused, then I will most likely not respond to it. I have responded to a few where I wasn't sure what he was doing, what the user was doing. But this is on a very individual basis, where I look at that and I see, I can't reproduce the problem. I don't know what you've been doing. Can you describe me in more details what you have been doing? Then I will reach out to you. But as for Alpha 1, which means as for this patch, the next patch, and probably the next 2 patches, it is kind of a one-way communication where you're sending us data that we can use to identify problems. So if you have been waiting for an answer from me or my team on your crash report or your user report, please don't be mad at us that you haven't received an answer, because we are collecting them and we are interpreting them, and only on a very individual basis we're responding and asking more questions, follow-up questions.
There you go. There you go. The new patch, does it have the certificate thing? Will people who couldn't install previously now be able to install?
Yes, it has. It has the DLL, like this Visual Studio C++ library that we forgot to add in the first installment. It has it now implemented. I have learned, I didn't know that, because again, it's our first, sorry. Let me just go back to, can we switch screen?
Yes,
because I don't think that I need to show stuff now.
Okie dokes, 3, 2, 1.
What I was saying, oh right, it's our first desktop application, so there's things to learn that we didn't know. So we've code signed our application and we've submitted that, and everything is fine. So the code signing is in the application. But then we have learned that Microsoft takes quite some time to update their databases on that, which means the more people install it, the more people use it, the sooner the Microsoft databases understand that there is now a signed application, which is why there is still in the new updater, in the tutorial that I've handed out, there is still a little guideline that says you need to run it anyways, because we have done our part, but now we need to wait on Microsoft to update their code signing database and accept our signing.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Question from Damien the DM. Hello, Damien. Good to see you in chats there. Now, the question is this hinting that the Alpha Wave 2 is going to be around second quarter next year? So what's that? It's April, May, June.
So it's not an intended hinting, I can say that. It is, I would say, if we have an internal estimate where we are, then yes, I would say that we will be already in Alpha 2 by summer next year.
Okay, there you are. But who knows what the new year has to offer. As they say, we're not out of 2020 just yet.
I had an interesting chat with a friend today when we were walking the dog, and he was like, I feel like every time I talk about 2020, I feel like on the 31st of December, something magical will do snap, and the next year will just be without any problems. And then I realize, oh, wait, no, that's not going to happen. But at least I believe it's going to get better soon. Tell me, I'm in lockdown again here in Austria. Yeah. We're currently I'm in the office today, although I shouldn't be. But it's, green screen and camera setup and that. So I went into the office. But my daughter is back to homeschooling. My wife is working from at home. We're all sitting at home, and so is my team. So it's a rough year.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Okay, so that's pretty much the patch update. We'll bring you more as and when things grow forward. So keep sending through those crash reports if you can. So let's move away from DEIOS a little bit. Let's talk about Mapvember. Now, this started running a couple weeks ago, and
Yes.
it's going to continue into and through December. What is it about?
Okay, so there is. I'm not sure if Misk was the first one who introduced Mapvember, but there is a little map makers contest or map makers competition out there that runs traditionally through November. That is called the Mapvember. So it is an incentive for everyone who likes to make maps to create maps based on specific themes. And honestly, because I was so busy with the patch and the alpha release, I almost completely forgot about the Mapvember that we wanted to do. But luckily, I got reminded, and we said, "Oh my God, we want to do something." So I've asked our Discord community moderators, Damien and Forecaster and Sparks and Level 39 Nerd. I asked them if they want to help us with that, and they were absolutely forthcoming. And they said, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." So they came up with the Mapvember ideas. And they've set up all the Discord channels and the mechanics. And I was then just there to judge some maps and to hand out some prizes, which is great. And again, Damien, Forecaster, Sparks, Chris, thank you very much for helping me there. And that's Mapvember. So it's currently this week is festival. So the theme of the week is festival. And if you want to submit a map that is just in the general vicinity of this is a festive map, then do so through our Discord channel. And what happens then is we collect all those maps. I believe by Tuesday next week, the contest will close. And then the community on Discord can vote. We will make all the maps submissions public. And everyone can then just look at all those maps and give a vote if you like the map. And we as the staff, which means the moderators and we will have then one specific staff pick where we say this is the one that we like best.
Now, you've had some winners for the previous weeks, is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Can we have a look at what they did?
Yeah, absolutely. We need to switch again.
We do. All right, 3, 2, 1, switch. Flawless. Almost.
So unfortunately, I apologize. I haven't written down who, and maybe for you future map contest submitters, name your levels. That will help me a lot.
Put your name in the level, and then we'll know exactly who it is. Yeah.
And we will know exactly. So I believe if I am correct, this is. Let me just quickly look at the map submissions. This was The Gates of the Shadow Mage by Eldritch Press. If I'm correct, I hope I am. And this was the winner of the first place of our previous. So the week before last week. So the first of our Mapvember contests. It's look at that. That is to see the full map. I'm at 37%. So this is a giant map, and it is a beautiful map, and it got over 14 votes on that one. So this is the beautiful map that you can see here.
What was the theme? Do you recall? I'll ask you another question.
I will look up in a second. I can't recall it.
All right.
Oh no, wait. Yeah, it is. It was themed around horror, I believe.
Fantastic. Nice use of the obelisk there with that the magic circle on it. What's that grey thing on top of the pyramid?
You mean that one?
Yes, that looks like a bit of a construction. I don't really.
Yes, probably it's a throne. I would say it looks a little bit like a two-chaired throne where.
Yeah, I think. But I was saying that's a custom piece. It's not an Dungeon Fog.
It's not a Dungeon Fog. What he did was he used the they used the
railings, I think.
Railings, yes, to construct that.
Absolutely. That's stunning. Okay, so that was the first week's winner.
Look, it's those little details, the combination of the cracks and the slime. It's really cool. I liked it a lot. It was really, really nice to see a map like that. Next we have, if I am correct, that is the Abandoned Abbey by Fiofu. Which is also a very straightforward, nice map with the columns and the big area here and the cemetery. So that was also one of the maps that got voted. Okay. It was 9 votes, I believe.
Nice.
Then we have cave map. Always
Lovely.
Nice to see cave maps with the river or the water area, water bodies, and look at how clever he used the 2 different of those bridges to make one underwater and one above water. I like it a lot. So yeah, that was another map here. It's a cave map. I always like cave maps. And the staff pick was the, did I forget one? Oh, sorry, that was, I just showed by Hans Joachim, I showed the Smuggler's Den. That was that one, to give it a proper Smuggler's Den. And the staff pick was the cemetery. It was done by, it was the East Pass Cemetery by Athim, if I pronounce it correctly. And it using the fog and this creepy atmosphere with the lighting, we all liked that. So it got 3 out of 5 stuff votes, where everyone was like, "Yep, that's my map."
Nice use of the brush tool as well to create those cobblestone textures.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Right. So if you want to see your map next time being reviewed and commented by the great game master and myself, then submit it. And we will continue doing that now, I believe. Show a few maps, show stuff that you've been doing in the mapping it out. Eventually, we will go from not only battle maps more into also world maps, I hope. And yeah.
That's awesome. Now, there's another one moving into December with a different theme. Is that correct? There's another competition coming up. Or is that yes? No? Yes. Maybe.
So this week, festive. And next week so after this one, we will open a longer contest that is not just for a week, because we've realized that having just 1 week is too short. We don't get enough submissions, and people are like, "Oh my God, another contest! Please spare me." So we will do a longer one that probably goes into next year, where we will call for. I think the idea was, and I'm absolutely happy with it, the suggestion was something that is season related. Doesn't mean it has to be Christmas or festive season related, but more like a winter's map, ice glaciers. What if people are building cave maps out of crystal ice instead of? So we're going to talk about that with the moderators to nail down the expectations, but the general theme is going to be wintry.
Fantastic. Okay, and they can get all of that information on Discord if they join the Discord. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. You get all the information on Discord, and you have our amazing moderators there to help you, and you have the community that is also helping you. So if you haven't joined our Discord, I would highly recommend it.
There you are. There you are. Speaking of, is there another asset pack coming out soon?
Yes, there is. There is, and it is hopefully going to be coming out this week. I assume, again, as always, it's going to be Thursday or Friday this week. There's a little but to it, because it is, I'm hoping to get my assets tomorrow, but I know that Tony is very busy working on stuff. So it is coming. I can show you what we have at the moment. We're calling it the Mesopotamian asset pack. It's going to be part of our Lost Civilization pack, or Lost Civilization setting. We've introduced Riverlands, and now we're introducing Mesopotamia. But as you can see, there are still some assets missing, and that's because Tony is he's very busy at the moment. And he said, oh, please, 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 I need to finish them. Hopefully by tomorrow I have them. And if not, then next week we will release the asset pack.
So we've got a lovely sand dune in there. I do like that. And then there's that sort of just a pile of sand, which I think is also lovely.
There's this beautiful sand dune. Yes. I can't wait to see how it performs on different. Again, this is the back and forth between Tony and me when he's sending me the artwork.
Yes.
Then I'm testing it in Dungeon Fog, and I'm saying, okay, we need to adjust here and there a little bit. But we have this little sand wobble here, and we have the sand dune here, and we have those sand covered
lovely tiles. Mosaics.
Yes, and some of them should be, I don't know if it's working already, but they should be then produced as textures. So they're not props, but they will be textures. And this is what I'm going to do with Tony, hopefully tomorrow. And this might be the one thing that pushes everything back into next week, is when we see that this is more work than we anticipated to make those textures work.
Okay. Are those new doors, those archways just above the, is it a gynosphinx, I think they call them?
Gynosphinx, yes. Yeah. Those are going to be new doors.
Aha. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Lovely. What sort of motivated you guys to go to Mesopotamia?
We know that we have introduced this new setting that's called Lost Civilizations, and it is inspired more by history than fantasy. And we said we want to go through different areas of history that are nice to use, nice to play with. You remember we already have the Egyptian or the desert pack, we were calling it. Now we have the Riverlands. So we're trying to identify and work through things that work good as historical settings, but also are kind of in line with whatever Keora is going to do with his Lost Civilizations for DEIOS.
Absolutely. It makes sense to combine them together. And those are looking absolutely, absolutely great. Now, we were also speaking about, maybe we should switch back, Till.
Yes, sir. Wait. You give the countdown.
3, 2, 1, switch. Now, we were also talking about the updates that were coming through to Dungeon Fog, the brush tools and that sort of thing. How's that going?
Well, we're in the middle of it. And he's making progress. He's sending in his dailies and his checklist. I haven't seen any major alerts where I feel like, that is pushing back our patch or our update, our Dungeon Fog update. We're now talking, for those of you who don't know, we're talking about the battle map update that Andy has picked up that we want to release in December. I feel like we're making good progress. No one is running around screaming and shouting and throwing things at me. So I feel like we're on track with that. Looking at because I have it here, looking at the checklist, it's looking quite nice.
I do like your management style, that if your staff are going to miss a deadline or something, they throw things at you and then you know that there's trouble.
Yeah, because I'm the one who most likely came up with a deadline, and that's no one likes them. So yeah.
There we are. There we are. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. That's good to know that it's all on track.
On the other hand, what is interesting for some of you, or many of you, is Jonas has started working on the Foundry Vtt integration. So if, again, I'm not aware of any alerts there or drawbacks, but if we are on track, then together with the update in December, we will also have a new export format that will be supported by Foundry Vtt, giving you the option to import your map with dynamic lighting walls, with light sources, probably tokens, all those things split up separately so that you can right away start using them in Foundry.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, well, fingers crossed that everything stays on track with that. Now, this Friday is Black Friday, and some people call Monday Cyber Monday, following thereafter. Yes, can we expect anything? Is there something we should expect?
Yes, but that's all I can say right now, because we know that we want to do something. We have prepped some stuff, so there's going to be discounts for Dungeon Fork, for probably the annual subscription and the on-demand codes. We're not sure if we're going to do something for the pre-order of DEIOS. We might. It's more a technical question of how can we do that and can we do it in time. But yes, we're definitely going to do something in that regards. So keep an eye out for our announcements on Friday and on Monday, because if you're still looking for a Christmas present for your friend or your game master, who knows, this might be something for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, and that information we get on your website, on Twitter and Discord and the usual.
Yes, as always.
Okay, fantastic. Right, well, I don't see any more questions from the audience. I guess that means this is probably going to be our first show that finishes just a little bit under an hour. Wow.
What? No.
Well, it means that there's less to talk about because everything is just going fine. Touch wood. Touch wood. Everything is just just going. So that's all that we are going to be talking about today, folks. Till, thank you so much for sharing all of that insight with us as usual. It's always been a pleasure. Thank you. Now,
yeah, thank you all. Thank you, everyone. And as always, if you want to get in touch with us, aside from those mapping it outs, just go to our Discord. Reach out to us, and there's always someone hanging around that can answer you, help you if you have any problems. And yeah, I'm sorry, I stole your last words, I believe.
No, it's okay. I've still got much more to say. This is me. Don't worry.
Love you all, guys.
I've got
Thank you
days.
very much, and thank you for your beautiful feedback and support. It's helping us. It's helping us. Again, also for us, those are hard times with everything going on in the world, and knowing that we have a community that's standing behind us and helping us is just a great feeling. We all love working on Dungeon Fork, thanks to you.
Well, there we go. Absolutely. That's fantastic. Now, there will be no show in December.
Right. You are absolutely right. We've been looking at the calendar. And the problem is that if we want to do a mapping it out by the end of the month, that falls into where we all are out, especially I'm out with my family. We're moving, so it's a little bit stressful. And pushing it forward before the festive season starts is problematic because we don't really have a lot to tell then. So we've decided in terms of mapping it out, we're going to skip the December update. We will be back in January, and I believe it's January the 26th. And then we hopefully have a lot of new stuff to show and talk about.
Okay, now you've stolen my speech. Yes, there we go. What Till said. All right, we will see you all in January 2021. It's insane. Thank you for watching the show this year. It's been an absolute blast getting your feedback and your questions. And until next time, we wish you and yours all the best and the very happiest of map making.